My name is Pst Cecilia Moi. One doctor came and checked me and realized there was a problem. That's why I was bleeding. Now, I don't know what's next. But I believe, Sister Laura, at this point, I was to lose my life.
Good afternoon. Praise the name of the living God. Hope you have been well since last week. I promised you something last week, and sure I'm here to fulfill the promise. I promised you a guest. Now I have a very special guest. Her name is Pst Cecilia Moi. She's a mother to many. Yeah, she is a very powerful woman, full of wisdom. She mentors so many people. Now, I have gotten counsel so many times from her, and I can testify that she carries a lot of wisdom. Behind every successful man, there is a powerful woman, and this one is truly a powerful woman behind the visionary Pastor Alex Luamba of Holy Gate of Heaven Ministries. If you see the ministry growing, there must be someone behind it, and you will get to meet her today. So, Ma'am, karibu sana.
Thank you so
Maybe
much.
you can tell people more about yourself.
Okay, my name is Pst Cecilia Moi. I'm born again.
Yeah.
I am a wife to one man. His name is Pastor Alex Moi Luamba.
Yeah.
I'm a mother to 3 biological children.
Okay.
And a mother to many spiritual children.
Wow.
The ones I know and the ones that are yet to come.
Yes.
I thank God He has blessed me all around. And I bless the name of the Lord for His goodness.
Amen.
Amen.
Now, Ma'am, when people meet you, the way you're looking glorious, you're looking beautiful, they might think that you have never gone through a night season. They might think that everything has been rosy through your life. So have you ever gone through a night season or a dark season in your life?
Yes, Sister Laura.
Yeah.
I did have a dark time in my life.
Yeah.
And it was a time of, drawing closer to God, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that this dark season taught me to wait more upon God.
Okay.
I bless the name of the Lord because it was a time of lessons for me. It was a time that I realized that it's not always all smooth.
Yeah.
That there are mountains, there are valleys that we'll have to go through as Christians.
Yeah.
Before then, I would say that my life was smooth.
Yeah.
I would pray and God would answer. It would not take long before He answered.
Yeah.
And, I believe if I had grown like that in my spiritual walk, at some point I would have, been puffed up and thought maybe I'm too good.
Yes.
I don't have any, any mistakes, any sins. That's why God is very fast. I would be quick to judge people, thinking, why are people not receiving the answers as fast as they should? So I believe this was a period that God took me through classes and lessons.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not easy, but I just thank God for that season because it has become my testimony and it has made many encouraged.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want to hear more about that, but before we go into it, now, do every Christian go through the night season or a dark season, or is it for specific people?
I believe, leave alone even the Christians, everyone in life has a dark season.
Okay.
Has a season when they feel things are not just working right, that things are delaying too much. It's like, especially for Christians, they feel like God is not around them anymore. It's like God is not answering them because they didn't expect it to take that long. So I would say surely as long as you live in this earth, you will experience a dark time. Could be a loss of a loved one. It could be a loss of a job. It could be anything that can make one feel like, this is too much for me. Yeah.
Wow. During these dark moments, what should a person do?
Okay, I will now address that one to the Christians.
Okay.
I believe the best way to deal with a dark time is just to patiently wait upon God.
Okay.
When you read the book of Psalms, chapter 40 and verse 1, David says that I waited patiently upon the Lord. Meaning there is a period in life that you will have to be, patient, first of all, and wait upon the Lord. So I would advise any Christian who is waiting upon the Lord to just be prayerful and to just know it's something that happens to other people. That they are not the only ones that are facing a delay or like a night season or a time when they feel like God is quiet. So it is, if a Christian doesn't know that, they will quit the faith. Because I remember when we got born again, we were told that it is well. You shall receive whatever you ask. It shall come upon you in abundance. And what you are taught is not what you experience. The work of a Christian is just different from what you're taught. You experience on the way. You can. Each one of us experiences different delays, and your testimony is just different from the other. So I would say, just if you have not experienced any, just brace yourself. It's coming soon. Yeah.
So, Mom, what's your story? Now tell us. People are eager to know what is it. What is she talking about?
Okay.
Yeah.
I got married in the year 2008, and I conceived almost immediately.
Okay.
And of course I was excited as a young mother, the way it came so fast and so without struggling, It was just so beautiful until I would say the 9th month. Like I was due a week, I was like a week to my due time. Then that's when I realized that the baby was not kicking. Yes. So we went to the hospital together with my husband, and we saw a doctor who recommended an ultrasound to prove, because they tried to just feel like if there is a heartbeat, there's something they do. There's a manual way of doing it. They tried the manual way, they could not find a heartbeat. So to be sure that there was no heartbeat, they sent us for an ultrasound. So we went for an ultrasound, and I remember the lady who was doing the ultrasound refused to give me the results. She asked me, whom did you come with? I explained to her that I had come with my husband. So she called him in, and they were talking in whispers. So in my mind I was like, there must be something wrong. Otherwise she would have just given me the results. So my husband picked the results. He also didn't tell me. So we went back to the doctor who had referred us to the place of ultrasound. And the doctor sat me aside and talked to me, told me these things happen. I began to prepare myself now. There must be something wrong. Of course I had suspected because the baby was not moving as usual. So they cancelled me. Then they told me now the next step is just to not remove, but to induce me. Because the labor pains had not begun. Though I was due, but the labor pains had not come. So they induced me, and the unfortunate had happened. I had lost the child. So that was the first one. Then 5 months from that period, I again conceived. I said, wow, God is a God who restores so fast.
Hallelujah.
I was so excited. I was beside myself. I was like, now this one will make me forget the first one. And I remember I had an interview in Nairobi. I had applied for a job. I got an interview in Nairobi. I traveled. So while in Nairobi, I started experiencing some contractions. But I wasn't sure. I felt like, it must be normal. Or could be the baby is kicking, at that time I was 5 months pregnant. So I thought maybe the baby was kicking and I don't know. So I traveled back. On my way back to Bungoma. I realized that that contraction was increasing. So I called my husband on the way. I told him the way I'm feeling, I don't feel I'm good. I'm doing well. Could you please organize for a doctor the minute I arrive? We go see that doctor. So that's what he did. He organized for a doctor. I didn't even go to the house. From the bus stage, he picked me. We went to the doctor. The doctor said, the baby is okay. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing happening. You're just okay. So they gave me some painkillers and we went back home. At night, the pain increased. Now it became labor pains. The pain increased. So we had to wake up at that hour. We went to a different hospital now. And the doctors there, they didn't seem to think like there was anything urgent about my situation. So I was really in pain, truly in pain. But they asked me, how many months old, how far have you gone in your pregnancy? I told them, I'm 5 months. So they thought nothing is wrong. It could be just forced labor. There's something called forced labor. So they thought so. Then they admitted me. They chose to admit me. They gave me a jab to just reduce the pain. Like 5 minutes from there, I felt like something is happening. So I shouted to the nurse who was attending to me. They came. I lost the second baby. Yeah. Now, at that time, I felt, okay, what else now? This is the second time. Now people have begun to talk. This is not normal. We should find out. What did she do? She must know the reason why she's losing those children. She must know. So, when people talk, you get wind of what they're saying. At some point, somebody will come just to tell you, this is what people are saying. So, I really cried to the Lord. I told God, I also don't know what is happening to me. But how people are blaming me. What do I do, my Lord? And I thank God, God strengthened me with the book of Isaiah 54. And, it dropped inside of me and I knew this is mine. If you get time, read the book of Isaiah 54. The Lord promises that the hard times will not last for long. It will just be for a period, and then that phase will just go by. And he promises peace, and he promises good things. No weapon fashioned against you shall prosper. Whoever forms a weapon against you is not in my will. So I was really encouraged, and I really spent most of my time fasting and praying. More so asking God, what is the reason why you have allowed this to happen? There are times I would cry, and say, why me? But why me, Lord? Why me? I've lived for you. I've been in salvation. I've been walking with you. Now why is this happening? Could you please at least, Lord, let me know why I'm going through this? I would just be contented to know if I have sinned or if it is witchcraft, it is your plan. What could it be? So the Lord spoke in the book of Isaiah 54 and said, we need to extend our tent. Like we need to be in a bigger place than where we are living in. Because he's going to bless us with children. So I was like, okay, we need to shift from this house to another house. I didn't tell my husband that is what God had said. And I remember urging him, telling him we need to move from this place. We need to go elsewhere where people don't know us and don't know what has been happening to us. So that the stigma at least doesn't affect me that much. So we shifted to another house. But now there it was worse. I conceived at that time. Then I went up to 8 months. And after 8 months, the labor began again. At 8 months. So I was like, this one. That one I had told God. Sometimes you can be foolish. I told God, God, you either give me this child or you take me.
Oh my. Okay.
We can be so foolish at times thinking we are hand twisting the hand of God, but he can never.
Yes.
It can never be hand twisted. So when the labor began, it began at during, I think, almost night time. So we went to the first hospital again. I was given some painkillers. That's normally what they do to stop, if they have, it's forced labor, to stop them. The forced labor. So they gave me some painkillers. I went back home. They checked if I had any infection. There was no infection. I went back home. Now this time round, we were recommended to another hospital, a third hospital, but a different one. So we went to that hospital, and it was even worse. It was worse. Because while in the hospital, I began bleeding. Now I was excited. I didn't know the bleeding was a danger sign. I was thinking, I'm bleeding, I'm just about to deliver. I didn't know that this bleeding will increase and it will be so severe to the extent that I became like, I had to be transfused. So I bled so much, and I went to the labor room where women normally labor. I laid on that bed where women labor because I knew now I'm ready to push, and I'm about to get my child at last, first time. So the doctors, they're asking me, and why are you bleeding so much? I'm like, I don't know. So they are just staring at me as I bleed. Blood is just flowing like water. They are not carrying. They are not in a hurry. They are attending to other people. They are leaving me there. But I think it was just the devil who had blinded them to let it happen for a reason. I believe that God had allowed it for a reason. So I bled so much. At last, one doctor came and checked me and realized there was a problem. That's why I was bleeding. The placenta had come before the baby. So it had blocked the way. There was no way the baby would come out. At that point, I'm almost losing consciousness.
Because you bled.
Yes, because I bled. And the doctor said immediately I have to be rushed to the theater. So they prepared me. My husband signed the papers. I was taken to the theater. Another unfortunate thing, the theater was busy. Again, I had to wait. I'm still bleeding. I had to wait to a point where I lost consciousness. It was so painful for me. It was so painful. I prayed until I could not pray
anymore.
Yes. So at that point, doctors would come to just wake me up, out of, there's a way they do it. They call your name repeatedly to wake you up, to ensure that your brain doesn't shut out completely. So they kept calling my name. I would wake up a bit, I would lose consciousness again. I would wake up a bit, until they cleared the theater. I don't remember much about the theater because I had lost consciousness. So because I had bled so much, they removed a child, a female child. The first two were boys, and this one was a female one. So they took the baby. Of course, the baby had already passed on. Now I'm unconscious. I'm told when they took so long in the theater until the ones who were with me were worried. They were just praying and interceding that the worst doesn't happen. So they took me back after theater, after the surgery. They took me back to the ward. I still did not gain consciousness because there was no blood in that hospital. They had to send for it at Eldoret. That's where they got blood from. Remember, it's night. It's at night. All these things are happening at night. So they had to send for the blood at Eldoret. They brought it. I did not lose consciousness. I was still bleeding even after surgery. That's what I'm told. That I was still bleeding. And it took so long for me to gain consciousness. They took me back again to the theater. I don't know what they did. I believe they corrected something they had done wrong. So this time round again, I was brought back. And I realized that my mind was awake. But my body couldn't coordinate with my mind. So they thought I was still unconscious. But I could hear what people were saying. But my body somehow could not coordinate. I don't know why.
Yeah.
My body couldn't coordinate with my brain to just like move a hand or
Yes,
move a leg or move something to let them know. But I could hear what people were saying. They had transfused me for I think 2 or 4 pints. That's when I could now, move my limbs, open my eyes. I could see people and know them. So after that, I began my healing process, both psychologically and in the body. I could not stand alone.
Before you continue, were you shocked when you woke up?
That I had lost the child?
Yeah.
No, I already knew.
Oh.
I already knew before I went to the theater that I had lost my child.
Okay.
And at that point, I think I was numb. Where you don't express any feelings. You feel like, that's happened. Now, I don't know what's next. But I believe, Sister Laura, at this point, I was to lose my life. Because I saw myself like I was rolling in a tunnel. A very dark tunnel. I was rolling in a tunnel. Like I'm coming back. I'm rolling coming back. So I always think it's like I had lost my life and then, I was brought back to life.
Not done with you.
Yeah, I believe so. So I realized some prayers we make when we are in destitute situations are very dangerous.
Yes, we should be careful.
We should be very careful with the prayers we make at that point. Because that prayer, I told God that you either give me the child or you take me, put me in that situation. Probably it would not have been that bad. But giving God ultimatums.
Yes.
He's not a God you can joke with.
Yes.
He's a sovereign God. He's mighty, he's powerful. He owns everything. He can do away with you and bring another one without any problem. But I thank God today I'm alive. That one went by. I was, for some time my limbs were paralyzed. I couldn't walk. I had to be supported. I would sleep sitting down like this because I'm afraid I don't want to, disturb people, wake me up, turn me around, So I would sit like this on bed, put pillows behind me and just sleep. When sleep takes me, I just sleep. So that was my after losing my third pregnancy. It came to a point where I said now, we discussed with my husband and said now, that is enough.
Yeah.
If God meant that we stay without children, let it be there. So I decided to, divert my attention from now, conceiving and what have you. And my husband paid for me. I went for a diploma. I did my diploma. But the amazing thing, while I was, refocusing on other things, now I've shifted my mind from, until further notice. That's what we had decided. I realized I was expectant.
Guys, because of time, we cannot continue this week, but we will continue next week. Kindly catch us next week, same time, same place. Christ is the reason for the season. Kindly enjoy Christmas with someone. Share what you have with your neighbors, with your friends, for the glory of God. God bless you.